Hello, friends, and welcome to 10 Points Under, where sometimes we learn new things through the process of trial and error, and sometimes there's more error than trial. So, in this game that we're about to show, I accidentally clipped out a large part of it while recording. Basically, while we were getting ready to introduce armies, I was overcome with a big coughing fit and had to run and get some water. Doc was kind enough to start introducing armies and talked about armies for a little while I was getting some water before I was able to come back. Unfortunately, I was intending to pause the video while I was gone before Doc said that he would take over the video, and so I paused it, but I didn't think I had paused it because I didn't know what pausing looked like on my little recording thing, and I thought, like, usually it changes from the pause to the play button when you're pausing something on anything else. Doesn't do that with the software that I use. So learned that, which means that I had paused it. So it was successfully paused. I had successfully paused it, which I didn't think I had done, but turns out I was successful, which is fun, but that also means that I completely missed Doc's introduction, as well as a good amount of the conversation that we had right after I got back from getting my water. We did talk about armies a little bit. We were talking about the matchup a little bit like we usually do at the beginning of a video, but I missed a lot of that because of the pausing. It did not unpause until basically I was using the spacebar for all of this because I just use the spacebar because it's faster. Basically, when I press the spacebar again to start the video, to start watching the recording with Doc, that didn't work. I didn't know why, and I didn't think too much about it at the time, unfortunately. But it turns out because the first time I pressed the spacebar, it was unpausing the video, or unpausing the recording aspect of the app, which meant that I went in, I started the video manually, which it worked out, it's fine, but that means that the recording did not start up again until we were basically starting the video. So that's really unfortunate. I'm super sorry about that. I will take a little bit of time right now to introduce the armies since we missed that part. I won't do as good a job as Doc did, but I will just introduce the armies. I'll bring up a couple points that we brought up. I don't remember everything, unfortunately, but I'll do what I can to cover up, and then we'll jump right into the video. All right, so here we have our armies. This is a game between Vegetarian and Dysole. I've got a lot of matchups between these two, and the games are always fun. So over here on the left, we've got Vegetarian. This is from the NHSD. We'll talk. I didn't lose all of the recording, so we do talk about the event itself at the beginning of the video once Doc comes in. So I'm just talking about armies. Over here, we've got a Bloodglut army that Vegetarian played, obviously. So he's got 4 squads of Bloodgluts. He's got Grimneck, Narek, Kayamanawa, drops the Blade Glut because of the figure limit. Over here on the right, we've got 2 squads of Blastertrons, 2 squads of Gladiatrons, the Varja, Isamu, that's Dysole's army. Basically, some things that we did talk about as far as the matchup goes is that the Blade Gruts, you'll hear a little bit of this, but Blade Grut's very metagamey, very strong build with the restrictions that were in place, but the Blastertrons and Gladiatrons are always a pretty good build. Even when they're nerfed a little bit, they still have a pretty good amount of power going into them, just based on like how you're able to play them. And Dysole is a very good player of Blade Gruts, or sorry, Blastertrons and Gladiatrons. She's able to use Blastertrons really well, and Gladiatrons always makes that better. You've also got the Varja up here, who is always kind of a wild card, especially against order marker. Well, armies where order markers are kind of consolidated into one place. So that was like another kind of like a wild card, because Varja's good against these order marker hub armies, but also not so great against melee. So you've kind of got that dynamic going on there. That said, if you don't know who the Varja is, if you don't know what the powers are, check out the description below. Cards will be linked there. You can check out the Varja, you can check out Blade Gruts if you don't know what Blade Gruts do, you can check out Isamu if you don't know what Isamu does. That all out of the way. Again, my sincerest apologies. Fortunately I learned that, so now I know how this all works, but we'll jump on into the game. Hello friends, and welcome to 10 Points Under, where we'll forgive Dysole for playing Isamu this time, because technically she's still 5 points under, so it's kind of an awkward point total, but we're flexible. Welcome to 10 Points Under, where we're flexible. This is Bigable Frog, aka Taylor, and joining me today for this first game of the NHSD online tournament is Doc. Welcome, Doc.
Good to be here again.
Yeah,
Good to
good to
be
have
here.
you. Always super welcome to have you on board. You always bring a ton of great insight, and it's always a really good experience being able to talk Heroscape with you. So I'm excited to have you, especially for this first game.
Yeah. So this was our National Heroscape Day online event. Since we're all still barred from, well, in a lot of places, barred from playing in person. So
Hmm.
we tried to create. We wanted something fairly straightforward for National Heroscape Day because it would only be one event. So it is just a bring one army, bring your own army, play your own army the whole time event. What we had a restricted list, so there were it was about a dozen cards that you were not allowed to use. You could not use Raylan, Raylan from the original Rise of the Valkyrie set, the 80-point Raylan. Couldn't use Q9, couldn't use Mara Warriors, couldn't use Nilfheim, couldn't use Quahan, couldn't use the Vulcan Mech Incendiborg. So two VC uniques. And then among the commons, you couldn't use Death Reavers, couldn't use Knights of Weston, couldn't use Heavy Gruts, couldn't use Fourth Mass, couldn't use 10th Reg, and couldn't use Cather Spearmen. So three of the VC customs made the banned list. We finally arrived, and and then along with some of the classic super strong figures. So we set it at 18 figure max and a 455 point limit. Kind of toyed around with it to try to make it a little bit awkward. That was sort of the point, to try to encourage a little more creativity in builds. And you definitely see some creativity. Dysole's build definitely goes in an unusual direction. Veggie and me actually came up with the same army. So the army that Veggie's playing here is definitely one of the more metagaming armies that you can come up with. And unfortunately, I did have to play that mirror match with him at one point in the tournament. But you'll probably get to that one at some point. But at the same time, if all the order markers are in one place, the Varja can potentially lift a lot of order markers. So we'll see how it plays out. Could be interesting. I hope it's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely helps. So, I mean, games between Veggie and Dysole usually are.
Indeed.
All right.
They've had a number of good matchups in recent years. So.
Yeah, and I feel like I think from each large event that has been done in the past little while, I've been getting a Veggie Dysole game. So
Yeah, it's been a frequent matchup. I know I've been playing both of them a fair amount lately. Although I usually save those games for late in the event, but
wise. I think that's a wise decision.
I've played each of them in a finals recently. So as I said, as I predicted, I guess, or suggested, Dysole did put Varja out there. Now I wouldn't necessarily go Varja. Oh well, actually, if you look at it, Dysole only put one order marker on Varja, so Varja is not going to be moving again. I probably would have put the X on Varja there just to leave that risk hanging out there of an
Oh
order marker
yeah.
drain. But at the same time, that risk doesn't really feel that strong because unless it's 1-2, are you really going to try to drain order markers on your order marker 3? Like the Varja play is actually much more intimidating at the beginning of a round than at the end. So
That makes sense.
so it's not a huge loss of threat there. So, but this makes sense to kind of put, like I said, put Varja in a threatening position, and then start running with the Trons. It's probably what I would have done as well. And I think it makes sense what Tanner's doing, just leading with the orcs. It'll be interesting to see how aggressive he chooses to get with the orcs early on. Dysole's looking for a ping here. I think I would give it.
Yeah, I think that looks pretty
legit.
Yeah.
So, they do only have 2 defense, so just pinging orcs with the Blastotrons is absolutely a legit strategy. Just try to take them down. You don't, as long as you're getting attacks with the Blastotrons, you don't need to be in a rush to pull the Glads forward. Now, this is a no Raylan build, so you have a little bit more of an aggressive option when you're playing the Blastotrons with with Raylan, you really want to get Raylan out there protecting your glads. In this case, you can choose to just throw him forward, but it probably makes sense to slow roll here, just get some pings, because Veggie has so many orcs to get in play that Veggie's pretty unlikely to be looking for that big rush forward to take those guys out. So, here's the Cayman move quickly.
There you go. Yeah. A nice long snipe there. That's one Gladiatron.
Yeah, and pretty far out to the point where it's going to be really difficult for the Glads to clamp Kaimanawa down. Also worth noting that if a Glad gets on that road, they can't use the road bonus to go grab Kaimanawa unless the order marker is on the Glad, which it almost never is. Although I remember I have used that play of actually order marker on Glad in a game before.
Oh, nice.
To get the road bonus. It was in the finals of the 2011 main event against Spider Poison. Good old days. But in general, it's not something you do that much. So Kaimanawa is going to take two moves to get a Glad to Kaimanawa, and it'll be pretty well telegraphed to the point where there's a bunch of Blade Gruts there that could screen Kaimanawa out, because Veggie does not want to see 2 or 3 Glads next to Kaimanawa, because that would mean a dead samurai pretty quickly.
Right. Yeah.
And once Cayman's out, you're in danger of getting strung out pretty easily. So that's an interesting spot there. I think that Gladiatron's actually pretty safe sitting on that low spot, because no Blade Glut can get to the high spot to engage. The only thing that can get to the high spot to engage there is Cayman, and if Cayman jumps up there, well Sam's happy about that, because again, that's an easy way to take out Cayman. Even with height, if you can get, if you attacks of 4v5, you're happy to take them, as opposed to these 1v4s, which are not so effective.
Yeah, usually feel pretty safe about that. Not always guaranteed, but usually pretty safe.
But Sam did put that Gladiatron far enough forward now that it could engage Cayman on the next turn, so that but Sam did win initiative this round, so Veggie is gonna have an opportunity to either screen or move Cayman to a safe place. Although moving to if the last order marker is on Cayman, it's actually going to be a pretty tough. Yeah, so I would probably back out pretty far here. Like maybe even move next to Grimnack, just because if you lose initiative, if you don't kill that Gladiatron on the road and you lose initiative, there's no level 3 spot on that you can where you can't be engaged.
Right. Yeah, and so I think I definitely agree with just like backing out, taking a longer shot.
Yeah, I would probably go next to the Blade Glut, or even next to Grimnack, over there, just to keep Cayman safe, because to me the most likely scenario where you lose this game is Cayman gets locked down quickly, and
Yep, there you go. Now these options are a lot more.
Ooh, wow. Ooh, that's
very gutsy.
If Tanner loses initiative, well, I mean, if you kill both of these, that helps a lot.
Right.
I mean, there's a risk reward here, so that actually ended up playing out fairly well, but thanks to going 2 for 2 there, you can only get engaged by 2 of them. If one of those had survived, it could have jumped up to the level 4.
Oh yeah,
and along with 2 others, and then you would have been able to get hammered for 4 attacks of 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks of 5. So Cayman would have died on the first order marker if one of those 2 had survived, and Sam won initiative. So I mean, it's a lot of ifs. But I still feel like that's a risk I probably would not have taken to get 1 extra kill, because if you're back next to Grimnack, you still get 1 shot of 4, and you don't risk the death. It feels like an unnecessary risk to me. As it is, you could potentially. Well, okay, well, you win initiative. That's even better, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's definitely working out for him right there. But I mean, like, I totally agree, though. I think that's like, I mean, huge risk, huge reward, and it's paying off for him. But
Yeah.
I personally would probably not be that gutsy. But so
Well,
that's
I mean,
one
it's
squad
it's
down.
paying off in spades here.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's now you're on height, and you can only be engaged by a single glad. Ooh, I'm
Ooh,
just
Varja,
kidding.
nice.
Marja. So this is an interesting play. Well, I mean, if one more glad had survived, I don't hate this play in part because, uh, oof, well, that's not great.
Yes.
I don't hate that play in part because you only could engage with two glads anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the other thing is that blades are coming on order marker 2 anyway because with Cayman in that threatening position, uh, you know, Tanner can't really risk putting multiple order markers on Cayman.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have been throwing glads out there, and then Grimnack's probably chomping one of them. So it's not a wonderful situation. But as it is, it's worked out pretty well for Veggie. I think again, I feel like it was a little bit riskier than I would have gone, but I get it, and it certainly paid off. And the fact that not only did you kill a bunch of glads, but then the Varja went 1 for 5, and you blocked it. So Cayman's still in pretty pristine shape. So I now I'm regretting. This is the classic lament of 10 points under. I'm regretting not looking at the order markers. I'm wondering if Dysole has another one on the Varja.
Oh yeah,
This
not
one,
certain. I think I looked. I think it was just the one, but I'm not
yeah.
100%
I had
sure.
made a mental note before we started to always check the order markers, but so this is interesting to put the one here now. So I like that that locking down that blade glut there
Mm-hmm.
because now you're essentially screening Grimnack out as long as you don't kill that blade glut. So that blade glut is actually working for Sam right now. That blade glut is working for Dysole. I would not kill that blade glut because as long as that blade glut is alive, well, actually, he's got that Gladiatron on the shadow, so Grimnack can walk around. I don't like that glad placement. I would have that glad up on the road so that Grimnack has nothing to chomp next turn. That would have been my play. Just minimize the chomping. But given that now Grimnack can chomp either way, I guess killing that blade glut is a pretty smart play. But what I probably would have done is not gone for that blade glut, not kept the Gladiatron back and shot at Nirak and Cayman. So
Yeah,
I
that
guess you
makes sense.
probably could have gotten that two glads on Nirak. I'm sorry, 2 glads on Cayman and then shot Cayman a bunch. But I mean, you might want to kill Nirak just because Nirak is going to be pretty relevant as the match goes on. Did that blade glut just block everything?
Yep.
Well, okay, so I guess it
Yeah,
didn't
wow.
matter what you chose to attack. Although if you had been attacking, no, I guess you would. Yeah. See, this is why I don't like that glad placement. You're basically giving away.
Right, yeah, it didn't
Chomp.
do anything. It just gave Grimneck a place to go and kill something. And now, especially, like, I mean,
Right.
being below a squad of Gladiatrons is really, it hurts this build a lot.
Yeah, and it's something that I've experienced a lot because I've actually played the Gen Con main event twice with a 1x Gladiatron, 2x Blastitron build.
Oh, nice.
And the thing about the Glads is, it's basically the more Glads, the better.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're not actually the attacking unit, the squad size or the number that you can movement bond with, it's just a number. Like if you only have 3 left to move, you only have 3 left to move. It's really just that they're attack boosters, and every attack booster you lose is a big deal. Every blocker and attack booster you lose hurts a lot. So that's kind of where it comes down. Yeah, so just not having the ability to boost your attacks. Now the thing is, when you get to this point, you have to start boosting your blasts with other blasts. That's kind of the hidden trick of the Glad Blast build is
Mm-hmm.
knowing when to push a blast forward to engage, and then shoot the thing it's engaged with one of the blasts in the back to free the blast in the front to shoot at something else. So you get these chains, and that's kind of what you have to do to be successful with the build. But Dysole's in a pretty huge hole at this point. I wouldn't say it's insurmountable just because Varja is a massive wild card, but the amount of attack potential that the blasts have, like you say, is taking a big hit, and grinding through all three of those heroes is going to be pretty tough, even if you can take out the squaddies.
Right. Yeah.
And I think actually that's maybe the most unfortunate thing, is that you're likely to lose a lot of your trons before the end of the game. So Varja could potentially kill the heroes just because Varja can do crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But asking Varja to grind through a bunch of blade gruts is actually going to be pretty difficult unless you're on fire with the living storm rolls and taking away a lot of order markers, because the blade gruts are actually, I mean, Varja can only kill one a turn, and if you're asking Varja to grind through 6 units, with only 3 defense, Varja will go down. So even if Varja's sitting on height.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
No.
And that's wow. That's a palpable hit on Kaimon.
Right. So I would have probably been going for that a little earlier, just because, just to avoid the chomps, and maybe hold Grimnack back a little better. But although I guess you would have seen Nirak attacking down, but I would rather see Nirak attacking down on a Glad than see Grimnack chomping one. So
right, because at least there's a chance to survive a Nirak attack.
Yeah, it's a 4-on-4, I guess. It's not. It's less than even odds, but it's not horrible. At this point, let's see, it's 4 blade gruts down and 5 glads. Is that the tally?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not.
Yeah, and Kaimon's down to 1 health, so it's really not terrible.
No, it really isn't. It's felt like not a lot has gone Dysole's way so far, but that one hit on Cayman actually did even things out a fair bit. So Veggie's got order marker 1, but with Cayman locked down, you can't even escape. So I don't see a lot of value in putting an order marker on Cayman. I would probably just all blades all the time at this point, right?
Right, that's what I'd imagine. Killing another Gladiatron and attack. Well, I was gonna say an attack of 2 is relevant against Blastatrons, which it generally is. This turn not so much.
It's interesting just to see that choice there to prioritize the blast, which I agree with. Like I said, I think there is a win condition here of just kill enough Blastatrons that Dysole cannot kill the blades fast enough with Varja. So now let's see. So we've got only 1 Varja order marker, so it'll be interesting to see. And only 1 Cayman order marker, which I'm pretty confident is the X based on if it's not 1, it's probably X.
Right.
And, so, but the Varja, that could be 1 with 2-3X on the blast. That would not surprise me that much, just because you do have the opportunity to living storm 3 units at one. Actually, I guess it'd be pretty hard to get 3. You could get 2. Because one of those is the blast, is a Glad,
right?
And it's the same thing if you go the other direction. So, but still, you have a pretty good chance of draining an order marker if you put the Varja turn here. You could, that's probably what I would do. Is I would back out through the other way. Although I'd be tempted to shoot at Grimnack, so I might.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can't quite get to a great spot that way, but
yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how she decides to play this. She's going through Grim. Oh, okay.
Oh, through Kaimon. Okay.
Yeah, this is a big brain play here. I don't know if that order marker is live on Kaimanawa. If it is, then like I said, that's a big brain play.
Right. Oh, and there's a 17. That was the second
on the blade grit, I imagine.
Yeah.
What happened to Cayman?
Cayman got squished while they were trying to got crushed by the I don't know. I guess the Varja's a black hole
So,
now.
so Living
Maybe.
Storm needs 17. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's exactly what she needed there.
that's a thing. And a wound on Grimnack. So stealing a Blade Glut order marker is oh, does that steal all?
I think it steals all. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that's how you make a comeback happen. So the question is, what do you do here? I think if it's me, well, so the problem is that you're still kind of effectively locked down by that one Blade Grunt
Mm-hmm.
that's sitting in the middle
Or
of your Glads.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but this is exactly what I would have done. I would have tried to put. I would have wanted to put at least one blast. I would actually put another blast next to Grimnack on the far side, maybe on the
Like
road.
over here.
Yeah, just because I'm kind of banking on being able to kill that Blade Glut with just one or two attacks, and then my third order marker, I want to pound Grimnack with like what would end up being, if I have 3 Blastotrons next to Grimnack, then I'm hitting for 4 from level ground. So that feels pretty nice.
Yeah, and that's a good amount of attacks for
As it
level
is,
ground
there'll be
too.
attacks of 3 on the third order marker, which it's just a little harder to take Grimnack down. But if you get 4 attacks of 4 on him,
Mm-hmm.
that can do the job. Because you'll be able to. Although, actually, I don't know. Maybe I would actually be thinking about trying to kill the Blade Glut that's next to the Gladiatron as opposed to shooting Grimnack right now. Because if you kill that Blade Glut, then the Gladiatron will be able to engage Grimnack on the third order marker, and that'll give you an extra. That'll give you that extra die. So then you could even. Actually, what I would probably do is try to kill that Blade Glut with those attacks there, and then on my third order marker, I would move the Gladiatron, move one more Blastotron next to Grimnack on the other side, and then get 3 attacks of 5 with 3 more from the plateau.
Yeah,
So I would get
that'd
3
be
attacks of
great.
5 on 4, which is a pretty good odds of finishing off Grimnack.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that would have been my
I
play.
think I definitely agree with that one actually. Especially because then you can I'll just get rid of that annoying spot. You can either like take this high ground so that then blades aren't getting high on you, or just
Mhm.
like ignore it completely. You can move that Gladiatron away and you're not worried about it anymore if blades do take it.
Yeah. So as it is, you're going to get 3 attacks of 3 here. Oh, okay. So you're moving that one down.
Maybe
I
another
guess
one?
maybe that's thinking about.
Or going
I mean,
for
the reason I wouldn't want to do that is just because I'm losing an attack now. But it is nice for the next round to have another unit next to Cayman. There's a lot of sort of planning ahead when you get to this stage with a Glide Blast army that you have to, because you have to use, when you have to start using your blast to boost your other blasts, you have to really be thinking ahead, because the
mm-hmm.
blast that moves adjacent, unless it gets freed up by another attack that turn, becomes an attack of 1 for that turn. So you're weakening it. It's like an investment in the next order marker. But since the Varja cleared all the order markers from Veggie, you know, Dysole was in this pretty nice position of knowing what was going to be available the next turn, because nothing was going to get killed up front. Now come the attacks on Grimnack, I'm guessing.
Imagine so. Yeah, I don't see a reason to really go for Blade Gruts, which would be the other option.
Yeah, I
Which you
think
could, but
you need to take Chomp off the board. It's
yeah,
just it's killing you.
take the chances while you've got them.
Yeah,
Great
so
attacks, unfortunately.
yeah, like I said, I would have set that up a little differently to try to angle for attacks of 5 there. But it is what it is. And if Dysole takes initiative, this is where I would probably just go blast. I mean, I understand the motivation here. Actually, you can Living Storm the stuffing
Oh
out of
yeah, go
Veggie.
2, 3,
You can go.
5.
You can take what 1, 2. Because you could take the road. You could take 4 shots at draining the owner marker. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess as juicy as Grimnack is there, with like, if you win initiative, you're gonna get attacks of 5 or 6 on Grimnack. But I think it's such a juicy spot that you probably still go Varja 1. And and
So,
Dysole
2
cannot
on
win
Varja.
initiative.
Yeah.
So probably for the best. But now if you're veggie, what do you do here to? So yeah, this is where it would have been so nice to get Grimnack off the board last round.
Right, yeah.
If you're veggie, you try to spread your blade grets out here because one living storm roll is not very likely to pull off a yeah. So this is good. At this point, you're setting it up. I guess you'll be able to get 2 living storm rolls, but you won't be able to get 3 or 4, and that's the key.
Right.
There's that attack of 4, the dreaded height plus Grimnack.
Yeah, pretty good, really.
It's pretty critical. So 2 living storm rolls. If one of them hits, yeah, I don't think there's a way to get more than 2. But 2 is enough. If you pull it off and you get rid of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville Jaguars. So you really need to put Varja on top in the layers there.
Right. That's what I was just thinking. Just move it up a little bit, but okay. Oh, and then it's just coming over here.
Only went for 1. I guess maybe afraid to go through your own Blastitron there because you could end up draining its order marker as well.
Oh, that's true. You do have to roll for your own units, huh?
Yeah. So this was a bad initiative to lose for a variety of reasons, but I still feel like. I mean, I think it was the right decision to go Varja blast.
Yeah, because that's I mean, it's not definitely not guaranteed at all, but like if you win that initiative, that's so huge to be able to get off those.
Living storm the order markers, you're going to be able to kill Grimnack on the next one. I mean, with 4 opportunities, the odds of pulling it off are. I'd have to do the math, but I think it's pretty good. Would that'd be? Is it 17, 18, 19, 20 is 20%? So. If you do 4 of them. Not doing it right. You have like a 60% chance actually, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You could go through 4 units. 60% chance of draining order markers is pretty solid. So.
Yeah, I would take that chance any day.
Not a ton of success there on that. That second turn of the blades. But at this point, how many blasts left? Just 2?
Yeah, just the 2 and the 1 glad, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a great spot for Dysole right now.
I mean, part of me says that the chance was get Grimnack off the board last round, or win the initiative here, get the order marker drain, and then you can murder Grimnack at your leisure this round. If either of those things had happened, honestly, it feels like you could argue it's Dysole's game to win at that point, just because with a full run of two turns, and at that point, Dysole still had full attacking capacity with the Blastotrons. You probably kill Grimnack and Cayman, and then you're just dealing with like a 7 or 8. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. You're probably dealing with 8 or 9 of them, but you've got a full health Varja and most and like like 6 Blastotrons at that point, plus the 1 Gladiatron. I feels like a win.
Yeah, that definitely
interesting choice here. So Veggie was essentially insurance against the Varja hitting. Just wanted to have a guaranteed order marker, so put 1 on Nirak, figuring that Dysole's unlikely to run through Nirak since Nirak was sitting on that pedestal.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Not a whole lot to do here for Dysole.
Let's kind of take a shot.
Because that blast is double engaged, all it can really do is just attack either across for 1 or down for 2. Doesn't even get the boost from the Gladiatron, which is kind of sad. but
Okay.
you'd have to double disengage to pull it off. So
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's all Varja all the time at this point, in all likelihood.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take basically Living Storm insanity to make this close at this point.
Right.
There
Yeah.
was
And
there was a
especially Varg.
real chance, just a round and a half ago for this to go a different direction. But
Yeah. And it's crazy how that initiative switched. Like that was such a huge initiative too for
yeah,
Veggie to win because I mean like if Dysole takes it, it's huge for her. If Veggie takes it, as we saw like just Grimneck wrecking squatties,
mhm.
Blades getting in there.
I'm not sure. Other than the first round, we've seen a roll higher than 4. Actually, no. Wait. Did Dysel take initiative in the round before the last one? I don't remember.
The round before the last one.
Actually, I don't think so. I think there was one turn of
sure.
Blade Guts and then or it was one turn of Kamanawa and then the Varja took 2 order markers from Blade Guts. I think is what happened.
Yeah, I think that's correct, yeah. So Kaimon putting another 2 wounds on Varja.
Interesting choice to go with Kaiman there. I think makes some sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very, very costly wounds. Interesting note, by the way, that Veggie never grabbed Wanek with a Blade Grut. I think in his later stages, I probably would have devoted a turn to get one on Wanek, just because it's going to get that one turn that you spend, you're going to get it back in the form of a wound. So it's and at this point, it's not like that unit's going to get picked off very easily. Oh, we did see an 18 there. Does that mean
It's true. I think that was on Grimneck though. So
interesting?
I'm not sure if there were. I neglected to. I checked the order markers for Dysole. I did not check the order markers for Veggie. So I don't know if that mean or well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Grimneck actually had an order marker, but maybe.
Yeah. So gets the block now. Let's see, 2. You could get. So here comes Wanek, I assume. Yeah, you're getting the 2 boosted attacks and 1 on Wanek and 1 up there. So let's see. This would be an attack of 3 on 4, and then the 3 on 3. So
Nice blocks.
good blocks, yeah. So what are we down to? We're down to 5 Blade Guts. It's not outside the realm of possibility.
Mm-hmm. It just a lot of things need to go right.
Mm-hmm. So if you could steal an order marker and kill Cayman, or that would be nice.
First roll on the 14.
Doing a little circle dance to try to steal some order markers. I guess there's still one more order marker to clear, but presumably we don't even know where it is. Like presumably there's a couple different options where it is anyway. So
it's going for a Blade Grat. Okay.
Yeah, it has to be Blade Grat. It can't be Cayman, despite that highlight.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What is going? It looks like a different color on the highlight anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that was Veggie. I'm not sure. But
I think I know who that is. That was me coming in and fixing their Cayman.
Gotcha. You didn't like this squat Cayman.
I didn't like the smashed Cayman. Yeah, so I fixed their image. My game had ended already, so I saw the rest of this game, but
welcome back.
That is one of the fun things about these live events, or these events that we play, these 1-day events versus our regular OHS events, is that it has that characteristic that regular Heroscape tournaments have, where the last rounds of the last games of the round are usually the closest games, and most people are done, so everybody gets to see the close games.
Mm-hmm.
So, this was I like this move. I guess it could have gone one space farther down to so that there was no chance of taking height. Could go to that spot exactly. I probably would go there. But the idea of just backing away and taking a pot shot is a pretty nice one here. Yeah. So the only thing I don't like is just that there is the possibility of giving up a height if you lose initiative, which that's kind of the way things have been going. And there's the Wannick wound.
There goes that last.
But I mean, not only is that nice for the pot shot and the chance to kill Cayman, but you want to get rid of that Wannick blade glut. So you need you can't afford the wounds, and it's as good a kill as anything else for you. So you may as well head down there at the start of the next round and take that out and make the rest of the battle happen around there.
And that can be, I don't know, seems like fairly decent terrain for the Varja as well. Could be able to take this ground and then like kind of
the thought process may have been that you can take that little height 3 pinnacle if you're there. I guess you could have done that either way. Yeah, so like I said, it's a slight inaccuracy in the location. Maybe the thought was be a little closer so that you can living storm the blade glut if you win initiative at the start of the next round.
Oh, that could be it.
That's a pretty bold play, but you're at the point of the game where maybe you're going for bold plays. Just because you're not going to win if luck is even. So there's a few ways I could see. There's that initiative win. So
there we go.
There's a few ways I could see Dysole going here. Obviously, you would have preferred initiative 2 rounds ago, but you'll take this one. If you can get the steal, let's see. So what do we got? Nirak, Blades, Cayman, Grimnack. So 1 each.
Oof.
1 each. So my guess is maybe 1 Cayman, 2 Blades, 3 Nirak. That's my guess. My official guess is it's 1 Cayman, 2 Blades, 3 Nirak.
Sweet.
So this is
and that's a 20 for the blade. So that was most likely a numbered order marker. So that'll be
so this is a really clever attack by Dysole here. By choosing to attack Nirak, Cayman cannot get adjacent to the Varja because you are not killing either of the things that allow Cayman to get over. So now Cayman's turn is basically burned. So if my guess on order markers were right, Varja has a free round now because Varja killed Nirak and drained the order marker from the blades. But okay, so Cayman can kill Isamu. There's always that. I forgot about Isamu because I hate Isamu with the fire of 1,000 burning suns.
Oh, only 1,000?
Isamu is the worst figure in the game. Not you know what I mean. Not by power rankings, just by I hate
by
him.
design. Yeah. Yeah,
he's like an overpowered luck box that doesn't contribute in any interesting way. Anyway.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But all right, so
that was the drain attempt on Grimnack, I guess, because the wide swing there. And now trying to kill Grim. How many lives? Grimnack still has 3 lives left, so
right, yeah. So that's going to take a lot.
So that was 2 on the blades. This is the right play for sure. Because now even if Grimnack does have the last order marker, Grimnack is not going to be able to do anything except try to kill Isamu, which isn't nothing. But
right, man, that's a great round for Dysole. Holy cow!
For sure, that was the run. The run she needed, but she's going to need basically, honestly, 1 more round like that. We'll take it. And there's still a Isamu sitting out there who, we all have our stories, right? of the game where Isamu kills 180 points worth of stuff.
Those great stories.
So Veggie never even revealed order marker 3 there, so I'm guessing it was Nirak.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so your prediction was right. Nice.
Cayman, Blades, Grimnack, and the opening one is Blades.
One for that Isamu.
You might just be Blades, Cayman. It wouldn't shock me.
Especially
Didn't show
since
up.
this first round, you can like you're not worried about Varja, or sorry, this first turn.
Exactly. You're not. You can run away from the Varja even if Dysole wins initiative there. So
Mm-hmm.
so you're not going to lose an order marker unless. I mean, you could lose an order marker on game. Actually, I guess OM3 on Cayman would be pretty high risk. So it's probably either 2 on Cayman or 3 on Grimnack. Would be my guess. I guess theoretically I was around for this, but I don't think I was paying close enough attention when I was watching it. I know the outcome, but not the way it gets there.
Same, yeah. I was watching a couple other games at the same time, so I wasn't being super
it's
close
usually
attention
bouncing
to this
around.
one.
Not able to. Yeah, I don't love that play. So you're trying to figure out. I guess I guess Grimnack's engaged to Isamu, so Grimnack's not going anywhere. If this order marker's on Cayman, it's not. It's on Blades. So probably order marker 3 is going to be. So Grimnack decides to take the leave. Yeah, I didn't love this move just because you're pushing up close enough that this could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that was pretty unlucky, but all the same,
I mean, like, because after
there was no need to put yourself in Grimnack threat range.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And even if that attack doesn't go through, you've got like 2 blades who can just, disengage and get an attack of 3 and attack of 3.
Yes, you could get 2 in there. You could even get one of them on the level ground. So I would have had Varja one at least one space farther back where you're only taking an attack from the one blade that was sitting on the road.
Yeah.
So now it's the Samu dance, but there's a Wannick glyph, so that's not even.
Yeah, Isamu versus the world.
I mean, stranger things have happened. I've seen Isamu kill something in this neighborhood worth of orcs in the past when piloted by Veggie against me. But at a Gen Con tournament in the finals. It's my only ever loss in the Take-Two format at Gen Con.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, in the Take-Two tournaments, in the official Take-Two tournaments,
okay,
I have lost in like a late night game that wasn't an official tournament. But yeah. Anyway,
Isamu going for the kill, going for that Kaimon kill. Ninja versus Samurai.
Dysole's getting all the initiatives now.
Yeah.
Bet you wish you could have traded those out for some of the early ones. This could be it. Yep.
And there he goes.
That's Cayman sat at 1 life for a very, very long time in that game.
And that ended up being like really big, like because he took that surprise order, quote unquote, surprise order marker where he put 2 wounds on the Varja.
Absolutely.
And then even taking pot shots, just being around and being a body was super relevant for the game. So yeah, that was really big to have Dysole get close but not quite kill Kaimon. Put a couple wounds on Grimneck, but again not quite kill him. Just not quite enough wounds to swing it into her favor.
It was a very close game. I think it's easy to lose sight of how much damage those trons could have done in those middle turns if things had gone just a little differently. There was that one bad glad placement, and which I remember Dysole saying something to me about how she hated one glad placement she did. I'm guessing it was referring to that one that was on the shadow earlier that got chomped.
Yeah.
Aside from that, like I said, there was that one round where Varja got the early drain, and I would have arranged things a little differently to try to get more concentrated fire on Grimnack. Probably doesn't matter if Dysole wins the next round's initiative and drains the Blade Grunt order markers, but that was kind of the big initiative of the match. And once Veggie took that one, I think that the momentum was really going to take a pretty miraculous run to lose at that point. The momentum was kind of set. But yeah, a good game.
Yeah, really solid game. Really good gameplay from both.
It was a high quality game for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I really like both of these builds. Like the Blade Gruts did really really well in this tournament on the whole. I also like this. Like personally, like I'm kind of a Gladiatron Blastertron fan, and I was brainstorming them for this turn. I didn't end up being able to play in the tournament, but I was brainstorming them, and couldn't quite get them to work. But I do like the addition of Varja to that army. I think that adds a lot of what they're looking for that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I really like Glad Blast in general. I usually like playing them with Raylan, but the thing is that what they're generally weakest against is things like force mass or lots of distributed range attacks,
Mm-hmm.
and force mass obviously were banned in this tournament. So there are still like things like stingers that they're not great against, but it was a very melee bonding heavy meta, and they're in general quite good against that. Grimnak gives them a little trouble. This build is particularly bad for them because Grimnak and Cayman both give the Trons some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this army matches up pretty well against the dwarves, which was definitely, I thought, one of the big meta picks as well. So I thought about playing some Glad Blast as well. In the end, I went with, like I said, the same army that Veggie did. But I thought about both. So it was an interesting one to. It ended up being a really fun metagame. I liked it a lot. I don't know if we'll play the exact same ban list in the future, but I enjoyed the tournament. It was cool to see people kind of math out a little bit of a different bring one event.
Right, yeah, like that restricted list just it changed a lot for the game. I mean, it really wasn't a ton of figures that were banned, but it was the right figures that were banned in order to like create a pretty different meta where like it wasn't just like building the right army, it was like, trying to predict like what the strongest army would be and being able to counter that, I think.
Yeah.
Which I like, and then like you said, like why picks like Kaimon in this Big Glut army, for example, are like did well.
Yeah, for sure. Is an interesting one. So, like I said, not sure we'll do the exact same one again, but we'll probably. My guess is that when we run these one-off events, in general, we're going to skew a little bit towards these simpler style formats, just because for a one-day event, when there's only one format, it's nice to keep it something that's a little more accessible. So, and we had a bunch of new players, so that was really nice. People we haven't seen in the online scene, or people who we haven't seen. Period. So it was cool to see, and some of them did really well actually. So that was cool.
Yeah, it was a cool day. I had a lot of fun watching the games.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks so much, Doc, for joining me for this game. This is a really cool one.
Yeah, my pleasure. I guess by the time this is happening, by the time this gets aired, our next season will be well underway. But as always, keep your eyes peeled. There'll probably be a Bring the Cheese event coming up again, where just another one of these 1 day live. Actually, I guess no, those we haven't been doing. We didn't do 1 day live. We did that one as a tournament format where you had a couple of days to schedule. But another one of these events where it's just wide open, including all the custom units, anything you want. Bring the cheesiest thing you want to bring. I brought Q9 Hydra Rats Raylan last time, and I lost in the first round. To what was it? It was the
Death Wings.
Yeah, the Death Wings. My opponent went 10 for 10 on his 2 explosion attacks against Q9, and managed to take him out in 2 hits. It was pretty awesome. I mean, I couldn't even do that. I was like, I mean, because I'm almost rooting against myself, playing that army. So it was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that was a great. I'm looking forward to a new Bring the Cheese event because I lost all those games from that first one, so that'll be exciting. I'd look forward to that.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably be that might be in the offing when this gets posted. So
sweet. We'll keep our eyes peeled for that.
All right, cool.
And just one thing, I've been doing online con for so long. I'm used to plugging all this stuff for that. Cards, I do have a lot of links in the description below, just since this is the first game for the NHSD show or tournament that we're showing. I will say that I'll link like the original thread for that. I'll link the battle report thread. You can check that out if you want to. And just as far as general links go, if you're like moderately new to the channel or something like that, I do always have like card descriptions in the link, or sorry, the cards are for figures are linked in the description. So like if you didn't know the Varja or if you don't know certain figures, you can always check that out, as well as the maps are linked, the map creator, that kind of stuff. Just lots of stuff to check out there, but I won't spend a lot of time on that because this is an online con, so I don't have as much to plug. So yeah, thanks again for joining, Doc, and thanks viewers for viewing. This is a really good game, and I'm looking forward for more to come from this. We've still got more online con as well. We're kind of doing a little bit of a fade, but yeah, just lots of good games, lots of good stuff to come in the future. So I'm excited for it.
Cool, cool.
And thanks again, everybody, for joining us for this one. And this will be 10 points under and out.